Hey friends, this is Jeff in Madison, Tennessee. I don't know what the date is today. It's like the 25th of May, 2026. Maybe it's the 26th. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's right around there. This video is aimed at elderly people. And of course, that's subjective depending what your age is. But I'm 63 years old. So this is for you folks that are hurting, okay? And I'm not a doctor. I'm nobody special. I'm somebody, while it may not look like it now, but I'm somebody who has spent the majority of my life doing heavy work, very, I wouldn't say back-breaking work, but I mean, sometimes it was. A lot of exercise, running used to be my thing years ago. Then it turned into weightlifting, and then it turned into karate. And then it turned into floor exercises, and then it returned to karate and weightlifting, and then turned into cycling. I used to do 30-mile bicycle rides, and not on flat ground, a lot of big hills and stuff like that. I found it to be torturous, but it was great. It was great exercise. It's like any exercise. When you get through with it and you recover, well, then you get the benefits from it. But while you're doing it, so anyway, now one thing that I think we all recognize, and if we don't, you will at some point, is that the older you get, you go from walking in your version of a fluid motion into waddling. Literally, I mean, if you look at old people, a lot of time when they walk, they walk like this because everything stiffens up. I mean, their hips are the biggest culprit. Hamstrings, the tendons. I'm sitting here with my legs spread at a 45-degree angle on the floor. It just, everything tightens up. You can't bend down. Pretty soon you need a shoehorn this long so you can stick it in your shoe and slide it in there and stuff. It's a pain in the butt. Okay, and if you watch somebody that's 70, 80, 90 years old, they walk along and they're like this. Okay, along with that comes a lot of pain. Okay, a lot of pain. And it's not pain like, oh, I picked something up and stretched a muscle, although that does happen, or pulled a muscle rather. No, what it is you just get so tight that, it's like trying to turn. By the time you do that, you already got hit by the car, okay, or whatever it was. So I'm gonna offer you a suggestion here, and this is a suggestion because, again, I'm nobody special. I'm just a grown man, okay? Somebody who spent a lot of time learning how to do stuff. So you have to stretch, okay? Stretching, while it won't in itself and it won't in the short term get you pain-free, what it will do, if you will continue to do this, and I'm telling you right now, you have to do this, and if you're not doing it, you have to start doing it, because let me tell you something, it hurts like hell to grow old, and it hurts like hell times 20 or 50 or 100 to not do this. Okay, so it hurts a lot more to not do this than it does to do what I'm going to show you today. So with that said, now I told you this is May. Back in January of this year, we had a ice storm, and the electricity was off for 9 days, 7 days, 9 days. No, I think it was 7 days. Seven solid days, and we ran on a generator, and thank God we could get somewhere and get some fuel for the generators. because I'd run two of them, one of them intermittent. But anyway, um, I hurt myself back in that time, partly because obviously I wasn't working, and I actually took 2 months off the beginning of this year, and I was well, when I took off, it was ice cold, and then the ice storm hit, and we spent a lot of time indoors, other than when I was out, collecting wood for the fireplace and getting fuel for the generators and making sure everything was maintenanced and refueled and everything. I ended up I hurt my back, and I mean, I hurt myself. It started out just an ache, and when I went back to work the beginning of March, I started doing a different job. It was the same company, but I went back to work using different muscles, and man, I hurt my back, and I was off for 2 weeks, and I did not know shit could hurt that bad. I think a gunshot wound would hurt less than what I went through. So there was a couple of times when I had the kind of thoughts we don't want to have, okay? Because I didn't know something could hurt that bad. So as I usually do, I'm thinking about how can I get around this? What am I doing? I was taking everything I could get. Drugs, anybody, hey, you got some drugs? You got anything? CBD. I would have taken morphine if I had it. So I've always known that you have to exercise, you have to stretch, you have to move. So I started moving, and you seeing me sitting here right now on the floor, and when I started, I couldn't do this. I was so tight, so I had let myself go for so long without doing this stuff that when I sat down, I had to literally lean back like this on my arm, which was uncomfortable as hell, and it hurt my back, and it pulled on my hamstrings and everything else. Okay, so now I just got on the floor today, and I can stretch in the morning and come back in the evening and I'm tight again. So it's that, I mean, not like I was before, but I'm like, wow, dude, I really, but the cool thing is my muscles stretch right back out because they're used to it, and my body expects it. Okay, so here's what I'm telling you: you got to stretch. Okay, now when you start, it's going to hurt. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be like, this can't possibly help. This is too hard. This is, I can't take this. I have a low tolerance for pain. That's what everybody likes to say. My wife likes to use that one. It's an excuse, okay? It's an excuse, okay? Now, I'm not saying that you should start and go get right on the floor, okay? This is what I'm saying. You're sleeping in a bed, I'm pretty sure. So when you get up, instead of getting up and hobbling into the other room and just thanking God that you made it, 40 steps to the living room or whatever it is, instead of doing that, put one leg down and leave, for instance, I sleep on the right side of the bed as we're facing up. Leave the left leg up on the bed, put this one down, put your right one down, and just sit there for a second, okay? Now, you're probably going to feel a pull right across the bottom of your leg, and the nice thing about on the bed is you generally have a natural arc to your leg because of the cushioning. The older we get, the more cushion we put on the bed. And I mean, you can put a pillow under your knee, whatever you need to facilitate this, okay? And I'm talking taking 5 minutes to do this, or take 2 minutes, okay? 1 minute each leg. But start doing it, okay? Don't look at this like I can't It's never going to work. I'm too old. What good is it going to do me? Get those thoughts out of your mind, okay? Seriously, I'm telling you, you can do this. If I can do it, I promise you, you can do it, okay? I promise, okay? That is a rock solid promise from me to you. But you have to actually do it, okay? Thinking about it, yeah, I mean, I know we've all been told, well, if I just imagine, weightlifting, like this, well, I can weightlift with this arm and this muscle will get big, and I can just imagine doing it with this arm, consistently doing it, and it'll get bigger. And I believe that that's true, but are you really going to sit there and do that? Are you going to sit there twice a day for, I don't know, a half hour each session and just sit there visualizing that? No, what you're going to do is you're going to do it for a minute and you're going to go, this isn't going to work. I have to actually do it, or I can't, or you're right back into that negativeness, okay? Here's what I'm telling you. Start, okay? If it takes you 5 years to get to where you can reach over there and touch your toes, or the other way, okay? So what? You're gonna go down that 5 year path anyway, okay? If you live that long, okay? You're going to take that trek either way unless you die, okay? And if you die, well, it ain't gonna matter, has it? But as long as you're alive, okay, next month, you're still gonna be getting out of bed. You're still gonna hobble to the living room. You're still gonna, hobble over there and make some coffee or some eggs or whatever it is you do when you get up in the morning, okay? Or what? Sit in your lazy boy recliner and watch your favorite show and hope that today's better than yesterday, okay? So, now, when I started, I told you, it hurt. It was uncomfortable. It was pulling my back, my lower back. But you know what I figured out? Or I kind of already knew it, but what I figured out is as I pulled on those muscles that were hurting, it was uncomfortable and it hurt. But I didn't just like force it through. What I did was I just put a little tension on it. And I found that if I just kept that little bit of tension on there, it would relax a little bit. And then I could go a little bit farther, and then I'd take a breath, and then I'd do the other side, and pretty soon, and literally, this was in, late March when I really started, it's like, hey, look, I used to do this, I know better than not to do it. We're gonna get back to this right now. Stop putting it off. So I started doing that. Let's just call it the 3rd week of March. That way we can be fair, okay? 3rd week of April, 3rd week of May, which is where we are right now. 2 months, okay? I've literally been doing this for 2 months, and I can't put my nose on my knee yet. I have to stretch here for a few minutes, probably a good 10 minutes, and I'm about that far from getting my nose on my knee on the left and the right side. And if I didn't have this fat belly in the way, I'd probably already be there. But the goal is not to hit a certain point. I have my goal because I want to put my nose on my knee. I want to twist and touch my toes, and I can do that, but it's a big stretch right now. It still is, okay? There, I just touched my toes. I just touched my toes. 2 months ago, I was like this. Okay? So, you can do this. I promise you. And here's what I'm telling you. Doing this will stretch out your hips. Okay? Now, I went to the chiropractor in March, and he took x-rays, and my hips, right side, the spine comes down, and it's like splayed on the right side. There's three vertebrae. Well, I guess yeah, three vertebrae, and it's kind of splayed like this. On the other side, it's tight. I mean, they're like, I don't know if they're touching, but they're pretty close. Okay. And here's the epiphany I had recently, because I've been stretching. I've been getting adjusted weekly every Monday, and it took until I'm gonna say about 3 weeks ago, so the beginning of May, before I got to the point to where I could I'm turn, because part of it, I don't just bend over touch my toes, I actually twist my torso back and forth. Okay, I'll pull this leg up, and this, when I bend down, not just over the knee, but in the front, kind of like when you put your feet together, put your knees as low as you can, and then grab your feet and try to pull your face down. It's the same pull, it's just on one leg. And then twisting around this way, I've gotten to the point where, well, I was getting pops up and down my spine, and then it kind of stopped about this far from my hip, and I don't know what vertebra number that is or anything. But anyway, in recent weeks, especially in the last week or so, as I'm twisting, I'm actually getting pops right down there in that area where those vertebrae were out of place. And I got to thinking about it the other day when I was on a walk. I was like going, because I'm feeling better. I mean, I'm still old, I'm still cranky, but it is what it is, okay? But I can move better now. I'm working my way into doing squats. So, a little bit at a time. I'm not trying to do it all at once. This is like I said, you're going to pass this time anyway. You might as well throw some of this in there and make yourself feel better, okay? So I had this epiphany, and I was like going, now, like when we get old, we start waddling instead of actually walking. Okay. If all those muscles that are in your hips, in the hip area, you got muscles that come out of the hip, kind of at an angle, and they grab your femurs here, your upper bones in your legs. You've got muscles that that come off of your hips onto your up and down your spine. They kind of come out, splay out at an angle. All this other stuff, and I'm thinking, if all that stuff is so tight because it's not ever being worked and stretched and stuff like that, why wouldn't it pull down on my spine and make it wrinkle? Kind of do that instead of being straight up and down, kind of do this, because it's being pulled, and it's not like it's being pulled evenly. This muscle over here is, you're right-handed, you're generally right-legged, and it's like me, when I was in karate, dude, I could do all these great kicks with my right leg. My left leg was always a problem, and I never really put in the work. I compensated, which I see a lot of people do. Okay, so it makes sense that muscles on one side of my hip are going to be stronger, or in this point, more atrophied or just locked up than the other side, because, for instance, this side got all the real work. Okay, the support, kicking, so on and so forth. So I was like, okay, so the more I get stretched out in my hips, that's what I'm concentrating on, my legs and my hips and stuff, and my torso, okay? The more I do that, the more I can feel all that stuff loosening up, and then, like I said, now I'm starting to get pops, stuff popping back into place down here at my lower spine, right there at my hip joint, right where that got that little curvature, and I'm like going, oh, that makes sense. So if I get all that loosened up, it's my opinion, and I'm going to prove it with x-rays here in the next, I would say the next 2 months. And I already told the chiropractor I want to redo the x-rays to prove this, because he's kind of telling me, oh, well, you know, it's kind of over with. But, you know, if you're dealing with somebody that's not going to do something proactive to fix it, I agree with you. It's just not going to get better. But if you get all the stuff stretched back out the way it's supposed to be, like it was when you were young, then there's no reason for the spine not to pop into place, because I don't have anything fused. I don't have anything broken, you know, other than my ass. Anyway, so that's about it for the day. If you want more videos to explain more stuff about this, you know, without all the doctor talk and the here buy my course talk and commercials and, you know, all that bullshit, then leave a comment, okay? In fact, if you would, please, if you wouldn't mind, if you would like the video. I mean, if you don't like the video, then you shouldn't like it. But if you appreciate the content at all, if you just give me a like and write something in the comment, man. Say thank you, or hey, man, you know, you probably need to lose more weight or something. Just don't be a jerk about it, okay? You know, it'd help if you weren't so old, you know. I don't care, just something, because it'll help the video spread, okay? So if you don't mind, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I realize when you get exposed to something like this, you're either looking for content like this, or you just got, I don't know, lucky and came across it, and you got to think about it for the next week or two. Let it gel, let it kind of sit in there and meld. That's fine. It's all good, man. There's plenty of stuff that I intend to do, and then it's got to gel in my mind, and then one day it's like, oh, I got a great idea. I'm going to go do that thing. You know, it's okay. So please just get started, okay? Do what you have to do to make a change in your life, because you're going to go through these days whether you stretch or not. But if you start stretching just a little at a time, it will compound and it will get better, I promise, okay? And like I said, if you want some specific videos on either what I'm doing or what I think would help you, just leave a comment and say, hey man, do another video, bro. You know, don't do one that's 23 minutes long, please. Yeah, I feel you. So anyway, have a wonderful day and be good to yourself, and think positive thoughts, okay? See ya.